Alright everyone, welcome back. I feel sunlight on my eyelids and slowly open them. Dazed and confused, I check over my own body. My arms and legs are fine. I don't see any wounds. I'm trying to see if I can... Okay, I guess my mouse has to be on this now. I don't know why. Maybe the pain faded the moment I was able to endure it. My physical wounds and even the mental scars seem to have been healed.
Shiro.
Let's try something. There it is. I hear a weak voice from under me. Huh? The feeling of her soft skin immediately makes me realize who's speaking, and the position we're in. Saber is lying on the bed with her blouse in disarray, while Tosaka is sleeping, cradling her knees to her chest. Tosaka may be fine, but Saber's been under me like this the whole time?
Ohayo, Saber.
はい。おはようございます、シロ。
We exchange awkward pleasantries. Saber slowly gets up and rearranges her blouse. Crap. We're so embarrassed we can't look at each other in the eye. Excuse me.
もう起きられるようになったんだ、セイバー。
はい。魔力の供給を受けられるようになりましたので。
Finally, right? She seems to be back to her normal self. When I carried her here last night, she was so weak. It seemed she might disappear at any moment, but that weakness is gone now.
そうか。よかった。成功したんだ。魔術回廊の移植は。
はい。ですから服を着ていただけませんか、シロ。その格好のままだと私もなぜか話しづらい。
I look down at myself.
そうか、そうだよな。そうだった。
I hastily reach for my neatly folded shirt. That was nice of Tosaka to fold it up like that. Wait, no, I did that. Why did I fold it so tight? I vividly recall last night's ritual. I connected with Saber, and Tosaka transplanted my magic circuits deep within Saber. Saber looks like she's back to normal, but what happened to me? Tosaka warned that my body and mind may not be able to handle the loss of magic circuits, but I don't feel much damage, nor any huge sense of loss. I was a little scared, but I checked on my magic circuits myself. The idea of seeing for myself just how much I've lost is terrifying, but we're heading into battle against Berserker. I need to understand my own condition. I don't know how to explain it. The overall function of my magic circuits feels sluggish, but there doesn't seem to be any obvious damage. I'll shoot to pieces, but my magic circuits are still intact. It looks like I'll still be able to do my strengthening magecraft.
そうか。これって。
I assumed the magic circuits I rarely used were the ones Tosaka took. I only activate about 1 to 4 circuits when I do strengthening. Since I can't do large-scale magecraft anyway, I've never fully activated all my circuits. So she has transplanted the circuits I don't use to Saber.
シロ。
I close my eyes to assess my situation. It seems this won't affect my strengthening magecraft. But this sluggishness, like I'm wading through water, it's because my capacity for magecraft is decreased. In exchange though, I feel that I'm connected to something important deep inside myself. I can't tell exactly where it's coming from, but there's a faint line that connects me and Saber. I've gained something truly important in exchange for my lost circuits.
申し訳ありません、シロ。
In my opinion, one of the best trade-offs yet. Saber speaks up from somewhere behind me.
シロの回路を得る際に必要最小限にとどめるよう努力はしました。ですが、その最低限の量ですら人から得るには多すぎた。もしやシロに消せない傷跡を残してしまったかと思うと謝罪の言葉も見当たりません。これは私の不覚です。私が書くも力足らずでなければシロには。
そんなことはない。セイバーは謝らなくていいんだ。そもそもの原因は俺が魔力の供給をできないでいてセイバーに迷惑をかけていたからだろ。 でもそれもこれで解決した。これからはちゃんと魔力の供給ができる。これで本当に胸を張ってセイバーのマスターだって口にできる。
ですがシロ、
俺の魔術回路のことは気にしなくていいよ。どうせ使わないものみたいだし、むしろない方がスッキリする。
Saber's expression remains clouded. Crap. I never know what to say at times like this. Saber's recovered and I've survived even after the loss of some of my magic circuits. Saber's magic circuits. The dream of light and wind and Saber in her youth. And on top of that, we spent the night touching skin to skin. Calm down. Calm down. That was a ritual for our survival. I need to calm my mind. If I don't focus, I can mess up during battle. The sleepy rhythm of Tosaka's breathing halts and she grunts. Looks like Tosaka's awake too.
おはようございます、リン。
よう、トサカ。おはよう。
I see Tosaka's hair shift, then her head tilts up. She is not a morning person at all, and doesn't look her usual sharp self. At all.
Thank you, トサカ。ちゃんと成功したぞ。
はい。私の魔力の補充はできました。ですがその代わりシロに。
いや、なくなったのは3割ぐらいだと思うから大丈夫。これくらいならなんとか。
That's actually not bad.
3割ですか。なんとか最初にとどめたというのに、それでも3割とは。我がことながら、なんと強欲な。
強欲か。そうだな。腹ペコだったにしても、もう少し行儀よくしてほしかったな。
Tosaka joining us helps dispel the awkwardness between Saber and me. Now we're back to normal.
そう、じゃあ、いいわね。
Oh, no jokes this time, huh? She's dead serious. Tosaka yawns and gets to her feet. It's almost time for battle. Somewhere in that forest, Berserker and Ilias will await. If we don't defeat the hurricane of death, everything we did last night was for nothing. The connection that was created between me and Saber deep in our hearts. To protect what we created, we'll have to defeat the most powerful enemy of all. Their battle comes to an end. The two fought fiercely, and it ended with the disappearance of the Red Knight. Now, a shadow of its former glory, the reception room is in ruins. The floors are cracked and broken. Many of its walls have been knocked down. The stairs have collapsed, and broken marble is scattered across the floor. There is hardly a trace of the reception room's original form. Some might even say time itself has been stolen from this space. After such vast destruction, the scene bears no resemblance to what it was just 2 hours ago. A sculpture, well suited to such destruction, stands in the middle of it all. Standing over 2 meters tall, it bears the crude likeness of a man, as if roughly hacked out of stone. It hardly bears mentioning. This is Iliasville's servant, Berserker. The giant doesn't move. Its entire body is splattered with red, with several holes torn through it. Not a single inch of the giant's body isn't wounded. 1. Both legs appear on the verge of collapse. 2. A massive gash in the neck. 3. Arms practically hanging off the elbows. 4. Something has pierced it from shoulder to groin. 5. Blood gushes from its chest. 6. Its belly is torn open. Berserker's not moving. He will. It's clearly a corpse. The battle itself lasted less than an hour. The result? Unexpected. Berserker's master is beside herself. She should be picking off what remained of her prey, but instead she just stands there, staring at the devastation.
信じられない。何だったのよ、あいつ。
You would be surprised. Her voice is a low mumble now. The battle came as a humiliation to her. Her servant is the most powerful. Among all heroic spirits, maybe 1 or 2 could compete with Heracles, the most renowned hero of all time. And yet, some unknown archer defeated him. The Red Knight fought on equal ground with Berserker, and in the end even killed Berserker, which nobody else had even thought possible. And for that, he can never be forgiven. To Ilya, it is as if she's just been stabbed in the heart by a passing insect. She prided herself on being the strongest master. For her to lose to the sword she should have so casually trampled must be unthinkable.
ああ、もう頭にくる。あんな奴に6回もやられるなんて手を抜いてたんじゃないでしょうね、バーサーカー。
The statue doesn't answer. That has neither the time nor the need to do so. Berserker stands still, focusing on healing himself. Even for him, this was an unusual battle. His noble phantasm nullifies any attack. So long as the attack is not of the highest possible class, it won't so much as scratch him. As such, he rarely sustains any wound. In his own time, none could harm him after he attained greatness. But here, now, he's been hurt 6 times. Archer delivered 6 fatal blows. Each of his attacks was a different of a sort. That is because even the strongest attacks won't work twice on Berserker. Strange as this was, the most truly bizarre part was, if Archer was a hero with so many different abilities, his identity should have been obvious. But even after his body was pulverized, Archer's identity remained a mystery. What was really surprising was how he carried himself in a way that seemed contradictory as a servant. A faint light flickers in the pupils of Berserker's eyes. Were Berserker a normal, rational servant, he would probably feel pretty bad about how this battle went. Whatever his identity might have been, Archer was rare and a formidable adversary. If only Berserker's sanity hadn't been taken from him, he would have fought to his heart's content and maybe even enjoyed himself.
許さない。許さないんだから。よくもここまで私を侮辱してくれたわね。
Ilya's voice echoes in the shattered hall. Whatever tiny embers of rationality might have been returning to him are immediately snuffed out by her voice. He's just Berserker now. His role is to overwhelm and annihilate his master's enemies.
傷は治ったの？バーサーカー。
Berserker doesn't need to answer. So long as the wound doesn't kill him, he'll heal in moments. But to completely recover from this would take as much as 3 days.
そんなに待てない。もういいわ。今すぐあいつらを殺しに行くわよ。
It's amazing that Archer was able to hold out for a whole day. Like he gave Shiro, Tosaka, and Saber enough time to even rest the whole morning. The whole night, I mean. The giant silently objects. It's almost instinctive. At least when it comes to a fight, Berserker has instincts similar to Saber's. He can clearly destroy his enemy easily enough. But if Saber has recovered enough that she can use her noble phantasm, that would be a different story. Berserker will not fall to a mere sacred sword, but there's always that small chance of something going wrong. His instincts tell him that he should be completely prepared before facing this servant.
何よ。5つもあれば十分じゃない。あんな奴らゴッドハンドなんかなくたって敵じゃないもの。それとも何？ここまで私たちをバカにした奴らを見逃してやるっていうの？バーサーカー。そうでしょ。誰一人として私の森からは逃がさないわ。うん。リンとセーバーはバーサーカーにあげるね。殺すなりもてあそぶなり好きにしていいわ。
Ilya hops down from the stairs. She walks through the rubble to the exit without a moment's concern for Berserker, bloodied as he is. But suddenly, she stops as if remembering something.
さあ、狩りを始めましょう、バーサーカー。だけど、セイバーのマスターは簡単に殺しちゃダメだよ。シローには一番ひどい死に方をさせてあげるんだから。
Ilya heads out of the castle, giggling happily. The sun is about to rise. Ilya knows the forest like the back of her hand. She won't have any trouble finding her prey, even if they try to hide. Her targets have only minutes to live. end. I don't know why, but I'm forced out of the ruins. Tosaka kicks me out saying that girls have to make some adjustments and changing and stuff like that.
何言ってんだ。男だっていろいろある。
I lean against the wall as I grumble. I guess I sound like a sore loser, and that's exactly it. I remember, and then I try to shake off my desires. I can't think about that right now. If I keep lingering on my memories with Saber, I'm a dead man. More than anything, it would be rude to Saber. I made contact with Saber to save her. I shouldn't have any other feelings for Saber. What a crock. It's such a pathetic excuse, even I don't believe it. I can't forget what happened with Saber, but I need to. For now. Honestly, I don't have time to worry about that kind of stuff. Our concern right now is how to fight Berserker.
そうだ。自分にできることをやらないと。あいつだって最後にそう言ってたじゃないか。
I think back to Archer. I never warmed up to him, but every word he said stuck with me. I stare at a tree branch. There's only so much I can do. I may not be much help, but I'm gonna do whatever I can, as best I can. For starters, I snap off a nearby tree branch. Then I try to find other straight branches.
シロ終わったから入ってきて。
Tosaka's voice reaches me in my search. I head back to the ruins, carrying the branches I collected. Well, the only other problem is whether I can act anything approaching normal around Saber after looking into her heart, however briefly.
こちらです、シロ。リンから話があるそうです。
I guess I was worrying over nothing. Saber is her usual self. Unlike me, immature as I am, she's probably just approaching this pragmatically.
ああ、今行く。
Damn, I am not gonna let this get me down. I'm so damn numb. Being the only one blushing over this is so I'm gonna do my best to keep my composure.
来たわね。それじゃあ作戦会議を始めるけど、会議って言っても口論し合う暇はないわ。バーサーカーを倒す方法も限られているし、とりあえず私の話を聞いてもらえる？
Saber and I nod.
作戦としては単純よ。まともな方法じゃバーサーカーとは勝負にならない。勝つためには奇襲。仕掛けたのなら反撃させずに一撃で首を落とすのが絶対条件だと思う。
That's one way, but how?
同感です。バーサーカーと打ち合ったところであれには致命傷を与えられません。倒すのならば打ち合いの外から消すべきでしょう。
打ち合いの外からってバーサーカーが俺たちに気づく前に先回りして襲うってことか。そりゃあいつと正面から戦うのは無謀だけど、そっちの方はもっと無謀だ。あいつが奇襲なんてさせる玉か。
ええ、バーサーカーに気づかれずに近寄るなんて都合のいい作戦はやらないわよ。あっちにはイリアスフィールがいるんだもの。少なくともセイバーとシローの気配は簡単に感知されるわ。私は気配を隠せるから大丈夫だけど。
I don't understand the logic, but I get the sense Ilya can detect me in Saber. And if Tosaka's the only one who can conceal
ま
herself,
さか奇襲をするのは遠坂だって言うんじゃないだろうな。
当然でしょ。一番に狙われてるのはシローなんだし、この中で一番動きやすいのは私だもの。
後ろからバッサリってバーサーカーがそんな甘いわけないだろ。
そりゃそうよ。だからセイバーに隙を作ってもらうの。セイバー、体はどのくらい回復した？通常戦闘ならば問題はありません。ですが宝具の使用は避けるべきです。今の魔力ではおそらく使った瞬間に体を維持できなくなる。たとえ使ったとしても純度は落ちていますから、バーサーカーを倒せるとは思えません。ええ、それで十分よ。セイバーにはバーサーカーと打ち合ってもらうわ。もちろんシロも一緒。 で、私は隠れて様子を見る。イリアスフィールから見れば私はおまけみたいなものだし、いなければ2人を見捨てて逃げたとか思うんじゃないかしら。
And what of the odds of her sensing you instead?
はあ、それはまあ可能性はなくはありませんが。可能性が低いならあげて。シロはイリアスフィールと仲がいいみたいだし、うまく話せば騙せるんじゃない？
Tosaka looks at me meaningfully.
反論はあるけど引き受けた。遠坂は逃げたって言えばイリアはまず信じるよ。あの子は人の言葉を疑わないと思う。
だとしても問題はあります。私がバーサーカーと対峙するのはいい。ですが、シローに同じことはさせられません。シローではバーサーカーの一撃に耐えられない。誰もシローに殴り合えなんて言ってないわ。シローはセイバーから離れて後方支援。セイバーだけじゃバーサーカーを押し切るのは難しいから、危なくなったら助けてあげて。
By the way, I know it's a little late, but I love that quick look of irritation Saber just emoted just a couple of seconds ago.
バカな。シローはリンのように魔術に長けてはいない。援護と言っても何を。それはシローが考えて。もっともバーサーカー相手だとマスターが介入する余裕なんてないわ。シローだけじゃなくて私だって手を出せばセイバーの足を引っ張るもの。それでも一人だって遊ばせる余裕はないの。シローが殺されればセイバーもおしまいっていうのは分かってるけど、ここはそうしてもらうわ。初めから賭け事みたいな戦いなんだから。それはそうですが。
Saber makes a face and falls silent. Since Tosaka's gone quiet too, she must understand how reckless her proposal is. I can't blame them for being worried. The night I met Saber, the night Berserker attacked, the only thing I managed to use to defend her was my own body. There's a strong possibility that we're headed toward a repeat of what happened that night. So while it may be best for me to distance myself from the battlefield, I'm not gonna do so unless they force me to.
分かってる。遠くからの援護は何とかしよう。
Was it really that much of a surprise?
離れたところからセイバーを援護すればいいんだろ。それなら何とかなると思う。
I grabbed the tree branches I gathered earlier as I say that. They're just the right length and exactly the right kind of flexibility. This is the first time I've done this kind of strengthening, but I don't think I'm wrong in principle here. Basically, I just need to layer my strengthening until it turns into something substantial. Besides, he had something like this, so I can use it as a reference. On top of that, magical energy has been flowing through my body for a while now. All I have to do is repeat my usual process. I analyze its basic structure and change it. I analyze the material's composition and reinforce it. Starting from the branch, my result should be his bow, but something's missing. I need to think of this from the standpoint of creation. If I want to make something as close as possible to the real thing, I need to envision everything I can about it, down to the smallest detail. I opened my eyes. The warped branch was the right shape, but something wasn't...
似ても見つかね
え。It's ugly, distorted, and yet I can tell it will work fine as a bow. Now I just have to create an arrow following the same concept.
シロ、今の。
ああ、シンジとの一件でなんとなくコツが分かった。遠坂も言ってただろ、力みすぎるなって。
そう。まあ手段ができたのはいいことだし、今はいいわ。話を戻すけど、とにかく2人にはバーサーカーと戦ってもらう。私はあらかじめ木に登って上から様子を観察してるから。で、セイバーがなんとかバーサーカーに隙を作ったら、死角である頭上からとっておきの宝石を使い切って バーサーカーを串刺しにする。作戦としてはそれだけの単純なものだけど。
Tosaka turns her attention to us, checking whether we have any questions.
宝石というのは輪の魔術ですか。だとしても生半可な魔術ではバーサーカーの体には届きません。彼を傷つけるには最大純度の攻撃でなければならないのですから。分かってる。要するに A 判定の攻撃でないとダメなんでしょ。
As she says this, Tosaka pulls several jewels from her pocket.
その宝石は私が物心ついた時からために貯めた貯金みたいなものよ。これ一つで A 判定の大魔術を即座に発生させられる。10個あったんだけどね、一つはあなたに使っちゃったわ。そうか。あの時の魔術ならば確かにバーサーカーは防げない。彼には私のような大魔力はありません。魔術であってもそれが A 判定ならば問題なく貫通する。そういうことよ。本当は小出ししていこうと思ったけど悠長なことは言ってられないわ。バーサーカーには特別に2つか3つは叩き込んでやるんだから。
Tosaka puffs out her chest confidently. However,
おい、なんか半端にせこくないかお前。
同感です。私が言えることではありませんが、せめて半分使い切るぐらいの気前の良さが必要だと思うのですが。何よ、そんなの人の勝手でしょ。あなたたちね、私がどれほど苦労してここまで貯めたって思ってるのよ。
Saber and I protest silently. Tosaka's life depends on this operation too. We can't let ourselves fail just because she's being stingy.
分かったわよ。半分使えばいいんでしょ。使えば。何よ、言ってみただけじゃない。私だってそれくらい分かってるんだから。とにかく作戦はそれだけよ。あとは私が隠れられてシロがセイバーの援護をしやすい場所を探さなくちゃ。イリアスフィールが来る前にいい場所を見つけましょう。
Yeah, we can't stay in these ruins anymore. And like Tosaka said, we need to find a place where we can all lie and wait for Berserker. But before that, I'm worried about Saber. I'm worried about Tosaka. Come on. Come on. Come on. Don't do this to me, game. I'm worried about Saber, of course. I wonder if Saber's really okay. She says she has no problems fighting, but wouldn't it be hard for her to go up against Berserker when she's so weak? Or, I suppose I'm more concerned about her noble phantasm.
使えばその瞬間に体を維持できなくなる。
That's what Saber said. That means Saber will disappear the instant she uses that attack.
セイバー。
はい。何でしょうか、シロ。
戦う前に一つ約束してくれないか。
ええ、それが私にできることならば構いませんが。
そのさ、どんな状況になってもあの宝具は使わないでほしいんだ。地上であんなものを使ったら大事だし、それにバーサーカーを倒せてもセイバーが死ぬなんていうのは嫌だ。
ええ、分かっています。私も宝具を使う気はありません。今の魔力でバーサーカーを倒せるとは限りませんし、何より消えてしまっては聖杯を手に入れられない。
She's as direct as ever. It's a relief to hear.
よし、いつものセイバーだ。うんざりするほど冷静で安心した。
それはどういう意味でしょうか、シロ。
いや、大はないよ。いいから外に出よう。遠坂を待たせるとまた文句を言われるからな。
そうですね。 リンはシローに文句を言うのが趣味のようですから。